Put on your helmets and buckle your chin straps for the wildest podcast held in the Steel City. Dubs and Chicken Hawk will give you a taste of the past in fried jumbo.
How I describe my family and its relationship with food. I'm trying to do this without being too bad here. So my uncle Carmen described it. He says, when it comes to food, we take it serious. he goes, you could, I'm going to tell you right now. He goes, Sophia Loren would want to go and take me on a date and let me wine and dine her and we could be married, or I could have one plate of your grandmother's ragu one more time in my life. I'm taking the ragu. That's just you understand. So,
yeah.
Because you're Italian. So
Oh yeah.
You know what food does for you. I mean, you know what I mean. It makes you happy when you're eating and you're enjoying yourself. You're enjoying. I don't care if you're sitting next to somebody you hate. You're still going to find common ground, and you're going to have a common. You're going to have camaraderie because you're feeling good because you're eating good food But that's just the Italian. I mean,
you're laughing and having a good time.
Oh yeah, you're laughing. You know what I mean?
Feel good.
It's not till you start getting full, then you start arguing, like Thanksgiving, you know what I mean? Like Thanksgiving, that was always fun.
Oh, that's always interesting.
Yeah, I always laughed about Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was funny.
I get a kick out of people saying I'm a foodie. I think everybody's a foodie.
Everybody is.
At some point in time in their life, they all have that. And there's probably not, with the Food Network and all that. There's probably not a human being that said, I should open a restaurant.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean.
Well, you don't, and that's a problem.
Yeah,
because you don't. People open up restaurants. Oh, and I have friends.
Come and go.
I have friends that open up restaurants. And they hey Chris, hey, I got this idea. Hey, nobody makes sauce like my grandmother. Everybody in the whole world's grandmother made great sauce because you liked it. Yeah, right. Okay, doesn't mean you're going to sell it.
You have an emotional
right, and and I always, and I've always tried to talk. Believe it, I always tried to talk people out of it. Yeah. Anytime somebody come to me and say, hey, Christopher,
24 hours a day, man.
You look at me, guys. I mean, we were friends. We were all friends. How much did you see of me?
Yeah.
Once in a while you'd see me at a party with you guys or something like that.
Yeah, but you're working.
Where was I? I was right. I was.
You were working.
I was 19, 20 years old when I opened up my first shop. Right. Yeah. So that was the sacrifice that I made. Yeah. There's a lot of memories that I miss out on. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? It's.
I think that's what makes. You've been in the business a long time. You see it come and go.
Right. I do.
Because of exactly as you said, but because it's in your DNA and your family just. It loves it, and it's what you're about. It makes the difference. When you go to Carmen's, it makes the difference.
Yeah, it is. And my kid's got that. I mean,
he does.
And I'm happy. Chris Jr. is Carmine, my son, my oldest, right? He's the brains, and he's the creative mind. I mean, he really is. He's a physical therapist. I mean, he was studying at B1, right. And he has 2 master's degrees. Yeah. But that was another thing, little Chris, was like me. I mean, school was not, he'd be studying and, squirrel, just like I was, right?
He couldn't wait for lunch.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, lunch, but.
Although I used to think about lunch like real early in the day.
Too.
Oh, God, yeah.
I remember high school. I mean, I would be walking around.
Oh my! I'd be looking for what they're cooking that day.
Yeah. I would. Hey, Chris, I would walk by the cafeteria. I'd be like have a class in like the senior wing, and I'd be down by the cafeteria trying to smell what they were going to make.
Cook bacon. Yeah. Oh hell yeah!
I'll never forget one time. I'm walking past there, and I had no pass or nothing. I was coming from Mr. Funk's office, right? And
Mr.
Lamb,
there.
God rest his soul.
Yeah, good dude.
He looked at me and he goes, "Hey, Mr. Sylvania, where are you supposed to be?" And I just looked at him and I went, I am where I'm supposed to be. And he just started laughing. He goes, get out of here. I am where I'm supposed to be. So,
right by the cafeteria.
It was funny. That's right. And he just started laughing, So,
but he knew.
Right, yeah.
I'm sure
well,
exactly
how they were. Well, like your mom's typing class.
Oh, gosh.
So.
Oh, my God,
yeah. Yeah, it was hilarious.
But yeah.
So, I mean, through that, we remember playing sports and stuff.
Oh, yeah. He was our first baseman on my Bantam League Little League team.
They couldn't do anything else. Just he's a big enough target. You hit him, the ball won't go by. At least they'll bend over and pick it up.
No, he was good. He never dropped the ball.
I never did.
No, he never dropped the ball. Even if the ball was coming in hot, he would let it
it hit me in the belt. Remember?
In your chest, and you'd be like,
Got it. Yeah, I got it. He's out. Yeah. Everybody be cheering. Yeah. It was funny. It was funny. But yeah, you remember that Bantam League? Yeah.
Oh yeah. We were talking earlier about Mr. Yasinski hitting. He was our coach, and he would hit
always had a cigarette in his mouth.
Cigarette. And he'd wear a dress shirt with the sleeves rolled up. Yeah. And he would unbutton all the buttons.
He would. Yeah.
Here's a character.
Here's a character. And he had cigarettes in here. I think they were Pall Malls.
Yeah. They were. Yeah. They had a Zippo lighter.
Yeah. And he'd be smoking, and he'd hit the ball like for high flies. You know how you're shagging the outfield. Yeah. I mean, every one he was so strong, he would hit them over the fence.
Big.
He was strong.
we would do with pop up drills, right?
Yeah.
Pop up drills. So.
You never got
remember, Chris? We were in Little League, so we were playing shallow.
Yeah.
Okay, we're playing shallow, right? So okay, Fleming, it's coming to you.
Coming to you,
right? Crack, and you hit it over the fence, right?
You just look.
Yeah. And he would go over the league, go get it, he would yell, run after it, chase after it.
I mean, literally, if he was hitting 10 balls to you, 9 would be over the fence.
The guy was a great guy.
Oh, lovely.
But hey, but he had no depth perception with it,
And he was such a big, strong guy. He'd clobber it right over the fence.
I'm telling you, he looked like.
I was amazed by it.
Chris is right. He would always wear these button-down, they were almost like dress shirts.
But
what did he do for a living? Who knows?
I don't know. But he was a professional of some sort, and he would come after work.
Right.
And he would
have his shorts on.
And he'd have still his work shirt on, but he'd unbutton all the buttons.
And he would... A couple times he didn't have tennis shoes or anything, right? So he had shorts on, and I remember he had
bare
black
feet.
Socks and penny loafers. Shorts.
Still jack that ball right over the fence.
Probably a
big cigarette hanging out of his mouth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Back in the day,
That cigarette kept him centered. He would just stay behind the ball.
Yeah, he's right. He had it's so funny. You know what I mean?
And his son Johnny played with us. Yeah. He was so good. Oh my God,
he was good.
That dude could fire a baseball.
Yeah.
You remember Johnny Yasinski, Johnny White? That dude was a freak baseball player.
He was, yeah. Good pitcher.
Yeah.
But sports, like even football.
Yeah, we played football at Norwin. Too bad we weren't real good, but we all tried our best at it.
We had fun. Hey, you talk about football, right? I mean,
those were fun days.
Going to camp. Well, you guys remember? You remember the Joe Pellis story at camp? Our junior year. Was that our junior year?
I wasn't. Oh, well, if it had been in your junior year, my sophomore year, his junior year.
You guys, do you remember Coach Pellis?
I do. He used to.
I love Joe
He'd
Pellis.
say to stick your hand out. Remember, you put the snuff in your hand.
No, we don't have enough time to get into Joe Pellis stories, but I love Joe Pellis.
Yeah.
And you remember if you were in a football team. You went, fifth period was lunch period.
Yeah.
You went to home building and maintenance. It was called home building and maintenance. And we would shovel snow and carry stuff for the janitors and stuff. But that was a place where the football players hung out.
Got some time off.
But I would watch out for them. I mean, I would be standing out in the shop there talking to other people, and I would stand at the door. And I would let them know if Mr. Beduzzi or Mr. Land or Mr. Yates would come.
All great guys, by the way.
I loved them. And I'd go, hey, coach, here comes Mr. Land. And he would pop his chew out of his mouth and put it. He used to wear a lab coat. Joe Pellis used to wear a lab coat. Put it in his pocket, had sawdust in it, stained everywhere, right? Yeah. And when he would leave, he'd pull it out and dust it off, put it back in his mouth.
Right.
But, I love them guys. I mean,
Pellis,
those guys were military guys.
Oh, yeah.
He was.
I don't know.
Joe Pellis also had an interesting story. Joe Pellis was one tough guy.
Yeah, he was a bouncer.
He was tough. I mean, he was a badass. He really was growing up because he never had anything. Yeah. Now Joe Pellis I think he went to North Dakota. I'll talk to Mark. His son's an NFL referee. He's my financial guy, but he's a nice guy. Oh, Mark Pellis. They don't make him better than him, but he's an NFL ref.
Yeah. I didn't know he was in the NFL.
Yep, 131 is his number. I watch football just to see if I can see him because he's like a back judge. But once in a while I see him. But Joe Pellis, the story with him is he put himself through his college, and he went to South Dakota someplace out there. But he used to sleep in a laundromat because he couldn't afford the dormitory. He would do stuff like that. I mean, just tough people. A lot of those guys. But why I bring him up is you remember the sprinting story with me.
I don't.
I can remember you so many times when we'd be doing wind sprints.
And bear crawls.
I'm done.
Hey,
I'm done. And he would
Pellis?
sit right in the middle of the wind sprints in the mud.
Yeah, we went up the Laurel Mountains up the camp.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, so
Up at Laurel Hill.
Pellis had that
Laurel Hill State Park.
big,
That was your junior year.
Yeah, Frito Bandito. I didn't play my senior year. My knee was bad. So he had this big sombrero on. He's laying up on a hill, and Coach Lynn's running our sprint drills.
Yeah.
And he gets up and he sits up and he goes, 1 second, Coach Lynn. 1 second, Coach Lynn. And you remember we used to have, now do you remember we had the run and wind sprint, right? Yeah. Then we had to jog back to do it again.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So Pellis stops it and he goes, "Hey, Coach, I got to find something on." He goes, "Hey, Sylvania," he says to me, he goes, "I'm having a tough time determining whether you're sprinting or jogging, because it's the same speed. So, say, Sylvania, when you're sprinting so that I can determine, I want you to hold your right hand in the air."
I remember it now.
Remember that?
Yeah, I remember it now. I remember this now.
Right. So everybody's laughing. It was funny, You say that to a kid now, they're gonna go to the school board and get the guy kicked out. Well, remember what Mr. Martin did to me?
They used to kick us.
Right. Hey, you remember I played defense. I was a 3 technique. I was a tackle. It was me and Howie Alexander, all them guys. We had a nice rotation. It was tough kids.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't want to play offense. I didn't learn them plays. I didn't even learn the defensive plays. I just went where the ball is and tried to tackle the guy. So they're trying to teach me these playing guard. I'm like, I kept missing it. And Mr. Martin, God rest his soul too. I loved him too. Right? He got so mad at me, made me get down in bear crawl. Remember? You can't get. I told you 3 times how to do this. So he makes me get down in bear crawl. And he takes a running leap and he drop kicks me in the ass. Do you remember that?
Oh, I remember it.
Oh, it was just like But guess what? That made you tough.
Oh yeah.
Think about it.
I remember him flipping that one dude. Remember that one kid, Mike Thomas.
You remember that?
Yeah, he flipped him like a cheese. He flipped him like a cheese omelet.
It's just like I love.
He got him like Don in his down like this and flipped him right over.
And you want to know something? I remember telling Mike Thomas, "You tell your dad." He goes, "Yeah." He says, "I probably deserved it."
Oh yeah, that's how we were.
I would never, like when Roy Martin kicked me, I would never told my dad.
God no.
He didn't listen to him. I remember my dad showing up at junior high football saying to Joe Pellis, it was Wayne Holt was our coach, and he knew it. And he goes like this.
I loved Wayne.
Speed Bolt Holt. He goes, "You got my permission to kick his ass. You have any problem with him, call me." My parents didn't hardly ever come to any games. They were busy working.
That's how it was when we were little.
You know what I mean? It was.
I could just remember your pants hanging.
Oh, you remember that? Oh yeah.
Knee pads to your shins.
How about doing the lap? You guys loved me.
Oh yeah.
They used to get a break because me and Jimmy Alston would be the last 2 coming around the end. Do you remember that? I mean, it took like.
I remember it.
You guys take a lap, you'd be done in 5 minutes. There's me and Alston. It's like 14 minutes. We're still like 1 foot after the other. Yeah. I still have never I've never actually ran a mile in my life ever.
I don't believe it.
I swear, Christopher. I have straight on through. I just.
Yeah,
I was quick. I was fast.
Remember you.
Right. I was fast. 15 yards, 10, 15 yards. I was fast as hell.
But as a defensive lineman, you just need to. That's it. That's what you need to do.
I can be honest with you guys. I've never.
But think about it though.
Ran a mile in my life.
One thing they did bad, I think, was if you were a bigger kid, they tried to hold you to the standard of like a running back or something.
Right, yeah.
No, the running backs weren't getting pounded on the offensive line all day. You know what I mean? Think about it. I mean, they ran fast, but they didn't. Defensive and offensive linemen, it's just like bang, 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 bang.
Like wrestling.
And you think about concussions and stuff.
Oh, yeah. It was nonstop.
I coach. I had the opportunity to coach football in Latrobe for about 11 years. Yeah. And, you learn like concussion protocol, and I remember, I think to myself, like I remember going back in games and remember the smelling salts, Chris.
Oh yeah,
do you remember that?
You said that. I was thinking this. How many times I had smelling salts?
Right? Do you remember?
100.
Yeah. Do you remember? And I remember a game, and I was sitting on the bench, and Jack Cochran. You remember Jack?
Oh, I love Jack.
Jack was great. We used to call him 1.5 feet.
Oh yeah, he had a club foot.
Yeah, right, Jack.
Remember when he would see him
a field goal? Remember Jack
Dempsey?
Tom Dempsey. Right?
But do you remember he would come around checking on us at camp at night, and you would know it was Jack because a flashlight would go.
Yeah. You remember never flubbed. Yeah,
because he had that half a foot.
Yeah. Because I remember Kerp saying me and Kerp had to go take a piss one time. Right, you got in trouble.
Yeah.
But you remember what happened that one time where the coaches got all drunk and I don't know who it was. Somebody went down to the latrine to go to the bathroom and somebody got pissed. The coaches got pissed. 1 o'clock in the morning, we're practicing on the
headlights.
Yeah, you remember?
Oh, yeah.
It was nuts.
They put the headlights on.
I think it was Kerp.
I think it was when Stanchik was doing the.
No.
Wasn't he doing something stupid and they caught him or something?
No, it was me and his. That was our rookie skit.
Okay.
Do you remember that?
He was like Rigby.
No, you go back. Oh, yeah. I remember that. No, me and Stanchik did that skit. Remember when Mr. Pellis, it was my sophomore year, it was your junior year.
Yeah.
And he swallowed his gold tooth.
Pellis did?
Try to remember that.
I don't remember it.
You remember that, Todd?
I wasn't there. I wasn't there yet. I wasn't there.
It was hilarious because then he was sifting through his, to find his tooth. So me and Stanchik did a skit about it, and everybody laughed about it.
Yeah.
And he was, Stanchik dressed up as Pellis, and I played me because he was always, because he loved me. Pellis loved me, and he tortured me, like we told that story before. And, but we did that skit, and Pellis come up to us, get up here, you guys are going to run. So me and Stanchik were all like, oh, I said, yeah, good job, Stanley. But then he was cool about it. He laughed about it. It was cool.
Yeah, it was interesting times. Yeah. When you were growing up, I guess you were always working. I mean, you weren't in a lot of the stuff, right?
No, I did, like, when I did have time, I would, I did things. I mean, things, how after school things change, people go their different ways. But, I still did things with Alessandro and people like that was spur of the moment. You know what I mean? I could never be, I started working and right after high school, man, I just bang. I was working on this.
Getting you on the podcast.
Right. Look how tough it is now. But I mean, I would work. I worked on the docks in Pittsburgh.
Strip district.
Yeah, I bought and sold produce and stuff. Like, you learn all that stuff. Would I change it? Yeah. I mean, I would slow down and smell the roses.
When you were little,
how
many years apart were you and Vince?
My brother was almost 9 years older than me.
9 years older. So when you're 2, 3, 4, 5, you're doing things with him when mom and dad and him and things like that. But then when he went to high school or junior high school, when did he start going his way? And then, or did you always do stuff together?
Me and my brother, we always were close.
Yeah.
It was we were kind of the same people, but we would butt heads and we fist fought. Yeah. I shit you guys not. Me and my brother had fist fights in our mid 40s. He was like 48 and I was like 41. It was our last
go around.
I knocked the tooth out. He cut my head open.
With Vinny?
No, we would battle because we were so
this is insane.
We were so. Oh man, it was. One time,
but he used to hang with like Jimmy the Head and all that, right?
Oh, you don't want to get into those stories, but
but they had that cottage and all that up in Seven Springs.
That?
Oh yeah,
you guys got barred, I think, from. But I used to.
Scott.
I would go up with him.
Yeah.
You know,
he was always. I don't know. He was just 9 years older than you.
Right, but
because he hung out with like Nanette Nanette Goga, or Nanette before that.
It was Nanette Renier.
Renier.
And it was Nanette from Jeanette. That was her nickname.
Right. And Jimmy and
Gary Bracco. Armin Detour,
and Okie sometimes.
Danny O'Connell. Okie. Right. They all had that place, and it was that place was great, man.
Because they were older than us, but they still were part of our lives.
Right, they were. And you guys would come up until certain people like made them mad for doing stupid shit. Yeah, okay, doing stupid shit.
That was Scotty.
I remember them all, and they all come to me. Here's the problem, when Scott went nuts up there, I don't know, he jumped through a plate glass window.
Oh, he did a bunch of stuff.
Okay, so all of them, my brother, Jimmy Thomas, Jimmy the Head. Okay, Danny Okie O'Connell, they all come to me. They start coming to me. You kids ain't a lot. I said, hey. I'm like, what the hell? When am I ever up there? I go up when you guys go up. Yeah. I don't go up when they're there. I'm up there with you guys. You know what I mean?
Your brother and you were in business too, though.
We
the macaroni.
We had a family falling out with who our family is, and we started our pizza business up in Latrobe, and we started it together, and then we had 5 at one time.
Yeah.
But business, you learn things in business. We lost a couple because
you learn things in life.
Well, I don't want to get into why we lost it, but Todd, the story, what the stories were. But And that was a lesson for me to never ever get involved in anything outside of my business ever again. But yeah, you know in business, Todd, you know, and you win and you lose. Oh, yeah. With all your losses, you have to be smart enough to turn those losses into successes. Learn from, right, and that's what I mean by that. You turn them into successes. What did I do wrong here?
Or don't step in that mud again.
Right, or don't step in that mud again. Right, you know what I mean. But
yeah, we covered this a lot in our previous episodes. Right. It's like failure is what teaches you how to win.
Right. I mean, getting knocked on your ass is what
teaches you
up. I try to help people that I know that are having trouble in business or something, and I always tell them, look, you know, have your faith. When you stand on the edge and you're looking into the darkness, you find two things. You find your faith and you find your character. And if you have those, you can get out of anything. And that happened to me. I mean, you know, I'm not some great, you know, Tony Robbins great guy, but I pulled myself out of the oblivion. Yeah. And it was bad. I mean, it was bad at one time. I was going to lose everything over something that I didn't know. Right. You know what I mean? It was right. You know, it was
just didn't know.
But you just you know, and then what you do, you just say, hey, this is, you know, I'm going to make this a success. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to fail at this.
Did you think growing up, you know, I know because your mother was just a strong woman, your dad was focused. Yeah, he's a strong guy. I mean, do you think their character?
Oh yeah. Well, their
values.
Right, their values. Okay. Right. I mean, you work hard. Right. Eventually, it's going to pay off. Chris, you're successful. Yeah. You worked hard. Todd, you're very successful at what you do. Yeah. Why is that, Todd? What is it about people that are successes? I mean, Chris, you're not. I mean, you're not even 60. You're retired now, Chris.
Yeah.
You know, and Chris, you know, your life wasn't the best.
No, it was tough.
It was tough. Yeah. Todd, you never had much. No. You made something yourself, and what is that? And we get that from you know, our parents and our family. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's grit.
It is. It's true grit. He's right. It's grit.
Grit is basically postponed happiness. Mm-hmm. Okay, you postpone.
Good way to put it.
You postpone immediate happiness for future success.
Absolutely. Right.
And you have to. And that's what business is. Like when you get into a business, you start with zero money.
Zero.
And you have to buy a building. You have to buy food. You have to have.
As a matter of fact, you're in the hole, Chris.
Yeah, you're in the hole.
You're below zero.
You're way below zero.
I mean, you're below zero.
Like way below.
And you're rolling the dice, man. You are taking a chance. Yeah.
So talk about postponing immediate gratification. Right. You're postponing it for years sometimes.
With a vision.
Yeah.
And that value system that is built into you, because I think you trust in certain things, right?
Right.
In a weird way. You don't wake up saying, I trusted this, and this, but you kind of learn from the people around you,
right?
Your friends, your family,
right?
As you're growing up, that hey,
and you,
you try to be kind, be nice to people.
Best person you can be.
You get back to what we talked about before with my brother. We were always close, you know, and we fought, and we had different opinions on things. But me and my brother always had each other's back.
Right. Yeah.
We always went through things together. Like I see, you know, and it's a shame, but I see family members torn apart by when somebody dies and there's money involved and things like that. And to me and my brother, that would never even crossed our mind. If you know what I'm trying to tell you. Like when my dad died, right? You know, my dad was smart, kind of. He he didn't have much, you know what I mean, at the end. But he had, you know, I mean, he just had everything organized, you know, and there was like, you know, like, well, how much, well, here, you need it more than I do. Nah, go ahead, Benny, you take it. Go ahead. And that's what it was. Right. You know what I mean? It wasn't a lot of money, but it was like, nah, I'm good. You take it. Okay. How about we give some to our kids? Okay, we'll give some to our kids. We didn't care.
You just worked it out.
Money didn't care. Because my brother, I'll never forget one thing my brother always said to me. And, you know, you love all your family, but I'll never forget my brother saying to me, you know, when it comes down to it, you know, we're brothers, and that's all we have. Yeah. It's just me and you. Right. You know what I mean? Well, you know, we can't count on me and you. And, you know, you can't count on anybody. You're tight with Bart, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, you Nancy. You know,
Nancy Brian,
You know what I mean, right? So, but if you can't count on your brother or your family, it is nothing. And that and you getting back to what we talked about, our parents and our upbringing and our influences. Yeah. That's what our parents installed in at least us. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, I mean, you know, my brother could have killed somebody and I'd hit him. You know what I mean? Not that he did, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You understand? It was was different.
Yeah, and I think, the older you get now that we're getting older, you start to, I just had this conversation at a campfire up at my camp here this weekend.
How was that?
What matters? And it's like, what matters is my family, my friends, and God, right?
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's true.
There's something to be said about community.
Yeah.
Because we've all known each other since,
Jesus.
you were in Town Talk.
Yeah, right, yeah. Me and him go back to
Phantom Blades. I remember him. I felt like I was honored to throw it to the first baseman that played or did the Town Talk commercials.
Celebrity
on our team.
Oh man.
Because everyone wanted him on their team.
Yeah.
Because he was the Town Talk dude.
Yeah.
Right.
We got him, man. We had him. First base.
I remember that.
There wasn't many celebrities walking around Pittsburgh.
No.
Man,
You know what? I thought it was even fake. I didn't even think it was real. He goes, no, it's real.
Everybody saw it on TV.
Yeah, I saw him on TV.
There's Sylvania. I had people call me.
But the craziest thing is what a small world. I didn't even know that you did that. Like Joe Aiello ended up being a good friend of mine because I used to go to his pizza place 3 times a week. We worked for MCI.
Yeah.
My buddy Steve Orlando knew Joe from growing up in Squirrel Hill.
Yeah.
So I ended up becoming friends with Joe when he had his own place.
Right,
and I know that the Minios brought him over from Italy.
Yeah, right. And he went up three
blocks. Yeah. I didn't even know you knew Joe.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why this is a great thing because you start talking to people and you find things out.
I wish we would have known because what you could have told them. Hey, do you remember when you did that
commercial? Yeah.
I'm good friends with the kid that
did that.
Right. But yeah, Joe was, he was great.
Great guy.
But it took 30 takes. No,
30 takes?
No, it had to take more than that because they kept changing it. And it wasn't anything that me and Joe were doing. I'll never forget my dad and Joe and me were standing there. And Joe and my dad were talking, My dad was like me. He goes, what the hell? We started at like 9 in the morning. We didn't finish up. It was a 30-second commercial. We got done about 5:30, 6 o'clock. Finally. Yeah. And it was 30 seconds.
TV commercials.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine him having the patience for it, Joe. He had to be getting pissed.
You could see it. His eyes were starting to set back in his head like a couple snapping turtles. It was.
He would get. He would get irritable sometimes with.
But that's
down there.
Life's good. I don't think I'd change anything. Well, I think I would have. The other thing I would have changed is I would have cut back because I missed out on a lot of fun and stuff. I think I did.
Yeah, kind of kept you out. So you got married young too, right?
No, I was 28 now. But I met my wife at work at the Lawless.
It had to be.
And we dated for 8 years.
8 years.
We dated for 8 years. Yeah.
Wow.
She was right out of high school, and I was still in high school.
Well, she's from an Italian family.
Oh my, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. Mom and dad there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Well, yeah. My God rest his soul. My father-in-law looked like he just stepped off the boat. They used to call him Mule. He was a mule. Hey, what the hell are you doing? And he had names for everybody. And when me and my wife started dating, this is a funny story too. I don't know. This is
you keep going. Yeah.
Okay, but I remember we met at Delala's, and I was friends with her brother. He was a stock. And one thing about my brother-in-law and my wife, they are the best workers I've ever seen in my life. Right. Wow. My wife, my wife, I'm so lucky to have my wife. I really am because I'm a slob. But my wife's the best worker I've ever seen. Right. And her brother's just like her. And when they're determined to get a job done, they get it done quick, efficiently, and done.
Right. They get that from my father.
Well, yeah, and he was. You remember? Yeah, right. I know. I miss his garden, but I used to write it all the time. But she got that from him. Yeah. Now I'll never forget the first time we started dating, and she says to me, "Well, come on up for Sunday dinner." Yeah. Come on up and meet my mom and my mom and dad, but they want to talk to you. They want come on up for dinner because I was always hit and miss. Me and her brother would go in the garage and drink beer with all the guys we worked with at Dallas. So I'm there, and my mother-in-law made chicken and pasta, this was Sunday dinner, I wasn't crazy about my mother-in-law's sauce, but it was okay.
No, your mom.
It wasn't my mom's, right?
Yeah,
right. So you got to realize me and my brother. There was me, my brother, my dad, and my mother. Okay. And my mother, I don't think she ever sat down with us because by the time we were done, the food was on it. Okay, food's ready. We come in. Food was gone. We're watching the football game on Sundays, right? My mom would sit down after she did everybody's dishes. My wife does that. Right, but you know what I mean? So it was fast, because you don't want to miss nothing, You want to get full and get that. So I'm sitting there, and I'll never forget it. We had a bigger dining room table. I'm sitting on this end, and he's sitting there. We're talking and stuff like that. Michelle's sitting next to me, and I'm eating chicken. I'm eating it, right? And my father-in-law's there. slow down, boy. That chicken ain't going anywhere. But he was just a good old hard nosed.
Different pace.
But he had a nickname for me.
Yeah.
And he would say to and he got to like me. You know what I mean? He got to like me, who I was.
What's not to like?
Who wouldn't like Chris?
Yeah, but he said to my wife one day, we were dating. Where's Chuck Roast?
Chuck Roast. Where's Chuck Roast?
Where's Chuck Roast?
Oh,
That's the way he talks.
Roast.
And my wife goes, she said, I asked my dad, what'd you call him? That's Chuck Roast. All meat, no fat. So he always called me Chucky or Chuck Roast, and that was his nickname.
All meat, no fat.
They did that. They had names.
Yeah.
Sure he did.
You know, like my daughter's boyfriend. He had a nice big long mustache. You know,
he
good
does.
kid, right? So I call him Mustachio. So it was the mustache. You know,
Chuck Roast. All meat.
He said
all meat, no fat.
My wife goes, well, why you call me? Look at him, all meat, no fat. I wish I would have listened to half the people that you know what I mean? Like Mark. You remember Mark Twain, the author?
Yeah.
Mark Twain said and my brother Vince told me this too, and you know, God rest his soul. My brother always had the right things to say to me, and he said, you know, man, why did we do it that way, Vinny? What the hell did we do? We should have listened to some. And I'm going to tell you something. We should have listened a couple times. Big Bill Fawcett told us to do something that, you know, we didn't. Or sometimes we'd listen to our mentors. Like Bobby's dad was best. To me, Fawcett's are golden. I mean, they are. But you know, Mark Twain said it the best, and he had a really good thing. It stuck with me my whole life. And Mark Twain said that when I was 20 years old, I think it goes, when I was 20 years old, I was amazed at how stupid my parents were. Yeah. By the time I turned 28, I was astonished at how much they had learned. And that was, you know, and that stuck with me. So listen to people, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm fortunate, Todd. My kids, they listen to me. They, you know, not all the time do they take my advice. Right. You know, well, now, Dad, we're going to go a different path. We're going to try this here. And, you know, sometimes it's a success. And I'm the one to pat him on the back. Hey, good call on that, Chris. Little Christopher. Hey, Carmen, good. That was a good call on that, brother. You're spot on.
Your
on
daughter
that.
still has.
And Gabby, yeah, she got things. She's running smooth. Yeah, she does. She's, you know,
she pulls it together.
She runs the front. She makes sure the girls are. Yeah. You know, because I mean, I said to those boys when we opened up. I said, listen, you make good food. There's no question about it. But so does everybody else. Look, people pass a lot of places to come here and buy food off of you to eat. Yeah. Damn it, make it worth their while. Yeah. You know, give them a great product and treat them like their family. Yeah. And my brother Vince said that to me. He goes, listen, one thing about business, he goes, you know, if you love your customers and treat them like family, they will love you back. And it's true. No, you know what I mean? Sure. I mean, pizza, you know, like the pizza, there's pizza shops everywhere.
So you grew up in the food business and learned a lot of valuable lessons.
Right.
You're passing it on to your kids.
Right.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Same traditions and values. And
right.
It's time for you to...
Well, no, you know, Todd, you know me, Chris. You guys,
yeah, you work.
Do you think I could retire?
No.
Chicken honky? I mean, do you think I could retire?
No.
Me? I mean, right. I know. You know how I am. I'm, you know. But it's,
you like the people.
Oh, I love.
You know what I mean? You love the people,
right? Oh, God bless. My wife's the same.
Oh, she is. I can't. You know, if I had to pick anybody, was going to.
She's real quiet.
A woman that could deal with
my wife's quiet. She's quiet. Hey, you want to go with? I don't know anybody there. Oh, yeah. What do you have to do? Just sit there. I'll do all the talking. You know, but she is, and she's a sweet person. You know, I really did. I mean, I think we all did. I mean,
we're all blessed.
You know, we are blessed there, Christopher. We got beautiful families. We got beautiful kids. Yeah. God blessed us with good women. You know, and that's
very thankful.
Yeah. So.
Okay, Chris. Well, really, thanks for your time, brother.
Hey,
I know it's
I love you guys.
Not easy to get you.
Oh, well, I want to do it once a month here now. This is a lot of fun. This is such a good idea, man. This is
a million things to talk about.
You know,
I appreciate you.
Love you, Christopher. Love you too, Todd. You're the man. I love you too, buddy.